Hi all, welcome to part 6 module 5 computer network. So what we were discussing so far is about the ARP protocol, and this is the last video lecture on the topic address resolution protocol. So I request you to watch the previous 3 more videos, I think, that is dedicated for ARP, then you can come to this so that you will get the flow. So in here we will see the typical structure of an ARP packet, something I already told you. So this is how it looks like. The width is some 32 bits, so that is divided into some 4 parts of 8 bits like that, right? So first you can see the hardware type, which is a 16-bit field. So as you know, it will be having different values depending on the type of hardware, particularly the data link layer standard you are using. For example, Ethernet will be having a number if it is something other than Ethernet accordingly. Similarly, protocol type means the network layer protocol depends on the type of network layer you are using. If it is IP, accordingly it will be given IP a particular type for IPv4, v6 like that. So hardware length means the length of the hardware address. That is, if you are using Ethernet address, you know it's a 48-bit number, right? And typically we will be representing length as a multiple of 8, like, so 48 bit is 6 bytes, right? So if it is Ethernet, the number 6 will be stored, indicating that the length of the hardware address is 6 bytes. Similarly, protocol length, say if you are using the network layer protocol to be IP version 4, you know it's a 32-bit field, and that is equal to 4 bytes, so that you can write 4 here. Similarly, operation, whether it is a ARP request message or a reply message, one will be stored for request message and 2 for reply message. So like that, these fields were filled. Now the sender hardware address, the actual hardware address, or the hardware, that is Ethernet address or the MAC address of the, or simply physical address of that particular network will be stored here, which is 6 byte address or 48-bit address in case of Ethernet. Similarly, the protocol address, the network layer protocol, if it is IP version 4, a 4 byte or 32-bit address will be stored here. So that about the sender. So sender's hardware address and sender's protocol address. Similarly, the destination, the target hardware address, and you know that is what we are trying to look up in case of an ARP. So if it is ARP request, you don't have to fill it because you don't know. You just want this the MAC address or the Ethernet address of target machine. So that is for what purpose we are generating the ARP request. So that time you don't know the ARP, the Ethernet address or the hardware address of the target. So that time you can just keep this field unfilled, right? So in the ARP replay, this will be filled with the actual MAC address of that particular machine. So the target protocol address, that is the IP address of the target. So that you will be knowing. So given this IP address, you are trying to see the MAC address of that particular destination, right? So you can fill these 3 fields when in case of ARP request, and this can be kept empty. So where the value will be filled by the ARP replay. So the fields are just explained here. The hardware type, this is a 16-bit field defining the type of the network on which the ARP is running. Each local area network has been assigned an integer based on its type. For example, if it is Ethernet, type value will be 1. Similarly, for others, some other value will be given. So ARP can be used only on any physical network, of course, right? So accordingly, type has to be noted down. And the protocol type, this is a 16-bit field defining the network layer protocol. For example, the value of this field is 0800 in hexadecimal for IP version 4 protocol, if it is IP. So similarly for other protocols, so different type value will be there. So ARP can be used with any higher level protocol, I mean network layer, and anything can be fine for ARP. Similarly, data link layer also, any network, any standard is okay for ARP. So the hardware length, this is the 8-bit field defining the length of the physical address in bytes. So the actual length, it has to be represented in bytes, not in bits, okay? For example, if it is ARP packet for Ethernet, it will be 6 in the case. In that 6 byte, that is 48-bit number. So the protocol length, again, this is the 8-bit field defining the length of the logical address, again in bytes. For example, for IP version 4, it will be 4, meaning 4 byte or 32 bits. So the operation, this is a 16-bit field defining the type of the packet. Two packets are normally defined in ARP, that is ARP request and reply. Respectively, 1 and 2 will be used in that field. Sender hardware address, this is a variable length field defining the physical address of the sender. Variable in the sense, different physical layer, I mean data link layer standards will be using different types of address, right? So particularly if it is Ethernet, this will be having the value 6 byte. I mean some 6 byte address, 48 bit number will be stored there. That is the Ethernet address of the sender. Similarly, the sender protocol address, this is again a variable in the field, because for generalization aspect it is written like that. If it is particularly IP version 4, for some 4 byte 32 bit address will be stored there. Target hardware address, so this is a variable in the field, again defining the physical address of the target. For example, for Ethernet it is 6 byte. And for ARP request message, this field is all 0 or in other way kept empty, because the sender don't know the physical address of the target. And the purpose of ARP is actually for getting it. So this will be kept as 0 in case of ARP request message. So again the target protocol address, again variable in the field defining the logical address of the target, and that will be knowing to the sender, right? The IP version 4, this will be a 4 byte field. For a different network it will be of different size. So how this ARP packet can be encapsulated? It can be encapsulated in a typical frame, data link layer frame. If we are using Ethernet, you can encapsulate an ARP request as well as reply message inside a Ethernet frame. And we already seen the structure of Ethernet frame. It will start with the it is start frame delimiter. Okay, so some preamble end with the start of frame delimiter. The destination address, the source address, typically that 6 byte Ethernet address, and some type field or length field accordingly, and the data field. In that data field, the ARP request or the reply will be encapsulated and with the CRC. So this is how the ARP request or the reply packet is communicated, that is inside a data link layer frame. So if you look at the operation, something we already seen, I just summarized. The sender knows the IP address of the target, and with the help of the IP address, sender is trying to get the MAC address. So the IP asks the ARP to create an ARP request message containing this IP address of the target, filling the sender's physical address, sender's IP address, and the target IP address. So those three things will be filled, but the target physical address is what it needs, so that field will be completely filled with a 0. The message is passed to the data link layer where it is encapsulated in a typical data link layer frame, right, like what we seen already. By using the physical address of the sender as a source address and the physical broadcast address, so it will be broadcasted, right, if it is ARP request. So the broadcast address, all once, right, so that will be kept as a destination address. Source MAC address will be correctly filled because it knows that, and destination MAC address, it's something filled with a 1, that means it is doing data link layer broadcast or the physical broadcast. So we have the broadcast concept in the network layer also, that is different. So every host or the router receives the frame because the frame contains the broadcast destination address, the physical broadcast destination address, so that it will be received by everyone, and all stations remove the message and pass it to the ARP that is running in it. All machines except the, because it may match with anyone, right, so the some kind of ARP software, ARP client and server version will be there. So something like so every machine is supposed to have both of client and server version. So anyway, as soon as the message is coming, the machine will be handing it over to the ARP software that is running over it. So all machines except the target. So if it is not for him, it will be dropping it. Other than the target, everyone will drop it. So the target machine recognizes its IP address, of course, and it is ready to give the reply. So the target machine replies with an ARP reply that contains its physical address, and the reply is typically unicast and the request is broadcasted. So the sender receives the reply message. It now knows the physical address of the target machine from the reply, and once it is knowing the physical address of the target machine, it can send the IP datagram directly to it, which carries the data of the target machine, is now encapsulated in a typical Ethernet frame again, and is unicast to the destination. Right, so hope you are fully aware about the process and the entire thing is clear. So I think I put put some 3-4 videos on it. So go through everything to understand the ARP protocol in detail, right? Yeah, thanks for watching.